Dear students and my teacher friends, Namaskar. I welcome you to the presentation lecture on histology of the large intestine. Now, in our previous lecture, we had discussed about the anatomy of the large intestine. Once again, I am showing you the figure for the large intestine. Now, we already know the names or the parts of the large intestine. All the names we are knowing now. So, which is the region and what is the name? Now, here, if we take a cross section, for example, this is the large intestine, and we are taking the cross section of the large intestine, and then we are preparing the slide, and now we are observing the slide into the microscope. So, when we are observing the cross section of the wall of the large intestine, then the slide look like this. So here in this figure, the wall of large intestine is shown, and this figure is very important for you because this figure is covering most of the theory points of this presentation lecture. Now we know the entire GI tract, the wall of entire GI tract is having mucosa, submucosa, muscularis and serosa. So the wall of large intestine is also having these four layers: mucosa, submucosa, muscularis and serosa. But these four layers, every time, whichever the region they are present, if they are present in the esophagus or they are the layers of the stomach, then there are certain modifications are there. Okay, so the wall of large intestine is contain typical four layers, that is mucosa, submucosa, muscularis and the serosa. So here in the figure you see this one is the mucosa, and here the lumen. Okay, this is the lumen, and lumen is surrounded by mucosa. So mucosa is the innermost layer, then mucosa is followed by submucosa, then muscularis, and the outermost layer of the large intestine wall is the serosa. So these are the four layers. So now I'm showing you the entire figure. You go through this figure, wall of the large intestine. Now I have repeated the point number 1 because this figure, what is this figure? Large intestine, colon and mesentery, panoramic view, transverse section, and the slide is stained with hematoxylin and the eosine. These are the stains are used for staining, and we are observing the slide under low magnification of the microscope. So first, the outermost, the outermost one is the serosa. Let me show you serosa. Okay, this is the outermost layer. So this is the serosa part. Okay, and this is here, this one is the lumen. So here there is a food. Okay, you can understand. And this is the entire, this way we can draw the entire large intestine. Okay, so large intestine is like this. Okay, and here the cross section is shown to us. So around the lumen, this is the lumen, around the lumen, this layer, the innermost one is the mucosa. Okay, mucosa. Then mucosa is followed by submucosa. After submucosa, there is muscularis layer, and the outermost is the serosa. These are the four layers. So this figure, you go through all the names. Okay. Now the second point. Now the what mucosa is composed of? What is there present in the mucosa? So mucosa is made up of simple columnar epithelial cell. So here you see these are with the yellow and blue color, the columnar epithelial cells are shown. So mucosa is composed of simple columnar epithelial. Then after the epithelial, lamina propria is present. And what is lamina propria? So it is the areolar connective tissue. So just beneath the columnar epithelium, lamina propria, this is the connective tissue, areolar connective tissue, lamina propria. Then in the mucosa, there is muscularis mucosa is also present, and this muscularis mucosa is made up of smooth muscle. So now this one is the muscularis mucosa. This entire layer is the muscularis mucosa. So this is the second point. Now you go through this figure. Moving on the third point. Now in the epithelium of the mucosa, two main type of cells are present. Mostly the absorptive cells are present and the goblet cells are present. So I am zooming this. This is the epithelial cellular layer of the mucosa, and in this epithelial cellular layer, absorptive columnar cells are present and the goblet cell are present. So you see large intestine, colon wall, transverse section, stain, hematoxylin and eosin. Okay, all the names. I'm moving on the fourth point. Now the function of the absorptive cell and the goblet cell. So here, this is the intestinal gland they are showing in the mucosa. This one, this is the intestinal gland, and in the intestinal gland, absorptive cell are present. For example, here absorptive cell, and this one is the goblet cell they are showing. Now what are the function of absorptive and goblet cell? So absorptive cell, they are involved primarily in the absorption of water from the digested food material, and the goblet cell, function of the goblet cell, they secrete the mucus, and what is the function of mucus? So let's see, this is the large intestine. This is the large intestine, and this is the wall of large intestine, and the innermost layer is the columnar epithelium, and in that absorptive and the goblet cell are present. Now this goblet cell, they secrete the mucus. Mucus is slippery, it is watery as well. So now due to this mucus, what happens? The digested food can move forward in the large intestine. So we can say the mucus secreted by the goblet cell is lubricating the passage of the colonic content, that is the, so it mixes with the food, and it also makes the internal wall of the large intestine very smooth one, very slippery one, so the food can pass on in the colon in the forward direction. Now the fifth point. Now where this absorptive and goblet cell are present, so they are located in the long straight tubular gland, and this gland is known as the intestinal gland. So in other words, we can say in the intestinal gland, it is made up of, intestinal gland is made up of, we now know it is made up of simple columnar epithelial cell, and this simple columnar, among this simple columnar epithelial cell, some of them are functioning as absorptive and some of them they are functioning as the goblet cell. So the long straight tubular gland is known as the intestinal gland. So here, see, this one is the intestinal gland, this one is the intestinal gland, this one, okay, this one, this is also intestinal gland. So these all are the intestinal gland, and the other name of the intestinal gland are also known as crypts of lober cone. Okay, and this intestinal gland, they are extending into the full thickness of mucosa. So here you see, this is the mucosa, and in the entire length, this intestinal gland are extending. Okay, so this is also a very important figure for you, so you go through this figure, try to remember all the names. Moving on the fifth point. Now before that, you observe this figure, this one, intestinal gland, goblet cell, okay, then this figure, mucosa, submucosa, muscularis, serosa, portion of the wall of the large intestine. Histological slide. See this one, opening of intestinal gland, absorptive cell, goblet cell, lamina propria. Okay. Now moving on the sixth point. Now in the sixth point we are discussing about the lymphatic nodule. So first I am showing you the where they are located, blue in color. This one is the lymphatic nodule, and this one, lymphatic nodule. Now solitary. solitary lymphatic nodule. Solitary means single one. They are alone. Lymphatic nodule. They are separate one. So solitary lymphatic nodule are also found in the lamina propria of the mucosa, where they are present. Lamina propria, that is the areolar connective tissue. In that, these lymphatic nodules are present of the mucosa. And this lymphatic nodule, they are extending through the muscularis mucosa into the submucosa. So first, this one is the muscularis mucosa, and this one is the submucosa. So this lymphatic nodule, first I am showing you, okay, muscularis mucosa, and this one is the submucosa. So here you can see this lymphatic nodule is extending from muscularis mucosa to the submucosa. So that is the meaning of this sixth point. Now, seventh point. Now here, in the seventh point, we are comparing small intestine and large intestine. Now, we have already studied the structure, the anatomy and histology of the small intestine, and in that we found that in the structure of small intestine, circular folds are present in the small intestine. Circular folds are present, villi are present, and microvilli are present. So what this circular fold, villi and microvilli are doing for small intestine? So they are increasing the surface area of the small intestine. So the small intestine can absorb the digested food material, the nutrients, very efficiently because it is having a larger surface area. But in the structure of the large intestine, in the wall of large intestine, these circular folds are absent. There are no circular folds. Villi are also not present. Only the microvilli are present on the surface of the absorptive cell. So that means the large intestine is having the lesser surface area. So that's why large intestine is less efficient in absorbing the digested food material, that is the nutrients. That is the meaning of this line, this point, seventh point. So here you see right hand side black in color. This is here the D is written. And what is this D? So the photograph is taken by transmission electron microscope, and they are showing the absorptive cell. Now the other name for the absorptive cell is colonocytes. So on the surface of the colonocyte or the absorptive cell, microvilli are present at their apical ends. So here this cell is the absorptive cell. This is the plasma membrane, And you see on the surface there are so many microvilli are present. So I am showing you this figure. Okay, if you are interested, you can go through this figure. Histology. Now the eighth point. Now the eighth point. In the eighth point, we are discussing about submucosa. Now the submucosa of the large intestine is made up of, it is composed of, it consists of areolar connective tissue. So here you see the submucosa. Now this figure is also a very important one. So the first, see, this is the mucosa which is present around the lumen, and you see the intestinal gland. So intestinal gland, they are shown in the longitudinal section, and over here they are shown in the cross section. Then and this blue color, so that is the lymphatic nodule they are showing. Then this one is the muscularis externa, and the outermost layer is the serosa. So very useful and important and very informative slide, this one. Okay. Very neat and clean. Large intestine colon wall transverse section, stain with the hematoxylin and eosin, medium magnification. So this was the 8th point regarding the submucosa. Now moving on the 9th point. Now 9th point, muscularis. Okay. Now where is the muscularis? So here you see the muscularis is shown. Now in the muscularis there are two type of arrangement of smooth muscle. Okay. The smooth muscle, in the inner side they are arranged the circular way over here. So this layer is known as the circular or the inner circular muscular layer, this one. Okay. And then on the outer side, longitudinal muscle layer is present. So muscularis layer is divided into inner circular muscle layer and outer longitudinal muscle layer. This is the 9th point. Moving on the 10th point of our discussion. Now, unlike the other parts of the GI tract, so one peculiar structure is present in the large intestine which is not present in rest of the GI tract. So which are these structures? See, what happens? Portions of the longitudinal muscle, they are thickened, and this longitudinal muscle, they are forming three conspicuous bands. Conspicuous meaning? Conspicuous means clearly seen. We can see it cleanly. That is the meaning of conspicuous. So, three bands are there in the wall of large intestine, and these bands are made up of thick longitudinal muscle, and this band are known as TENIAECOLI. That is tenei koi, tenei koi coli, tenei coli, three bands. And tenei means flat bands. And this three band, this tenei coli, they run to the most of the length of the large intestine. So in the figure I am showing you, for example, over here, this in the histological slide I am showing you first, then the in the anatomy figure I will show you. So this one is the tenei coli, this one is one, then this one is the tenei coli, and this one is the tenei coli. So there are three tenei coli. So in the figure I am showing you now in the anatomy. Now in the anatomy lecture I had shown you this figure, and that time also I had told you that try to remember all the names. So if you have gone through all the names, so you are having the idea where the tenei is present. Now can you find out the tenei coli in this figure? Try to find out tenei coli. Okay, I am helping you out. See, over here this band is present. Okay, this band we are talking about. So what is the name of this band? Tenei, pretenei. Then second one, can you see this? This one over here, this one, omental tenei. Then third one, mesocoli tenei. And you see they are present to the entire length of the large intestine, tenei coli. Okay. So in the 10th point we had discussed about the tenei coli. Now before we move on the point number 11, you see this figure. This is the large intestine. This is the lumen, we can say, and one tumor has developed in the wall of the colon. So malignant tumor in the colon, red in color, it is shown, this one. And now you can understand this one, this here, this is the lumen where the digested food arrives. Then this one is the mucous membrane. Okay, and this layer is the serous layer. So mucus is secreted. Here you see the mucus is there, and it is secreted by the goblet cell. And here, so this layer, we can say this layer is the mucosa layer. Okay, So now point number 11. Now here the tenacoli, they are separated by the portion of the wall, and this wall is having less or no longitudinal muscle. So see, this is teni, this one is teni, and these two tenis, they are separated by, see here there is a teni here, and this is the teni. So between the teni there is a wall. This is the large intestine wall between the teni, and this wall which is present between the teni, it is having very less or no longitudinal muscle at all. Now this bend, this tenacoli, all three together, they contract, that is the tonic contraction. So due to the tonic contraction of the bend, that is the tenacoli's contraction, colon, entire colon gathered into a series of pouches, and these pouches are known as the haustra. Haustra means shape like pouch, and singular is haustrum. So see, this one is the haustra, this one is the haustra, haustra. And why these haustras are developed, why we can see this haustra? So this haustra we can see due to the contraction of the tenacoli. Okay. And this haustra, what they are doing? So they are giving colon a pucker appearance. So what is the pucker appearance? See, this is the haustra. So this entire surface of the large intestine wall, you see, it look like, so this appearance is the puckered appearance. Okay, this is the puckered appearance that they are talking. So puckered appearance is due to the haustra. So point number 11. Now point number 12. Now between the tenacoli, single layer of circular smooth muscle is present. Okay. Then now the last point, that is the 13th point. Now first of all, serosa, outermost layer of the large intestine, that is serosa. And what is this serosa is? First of all, let me show you the serosa. So here, the outermost layer is the serosa. And what is this serosa? So serosa is part of the visceral peritoneum. And what happens? Small pouches of this visceral peritoneum, they are filled with fat. So the pouches filled with fat, they attach to tenacoli, and they are known as omental appendices. So in the figure, see, this is the tenacoli. This is the tenacoli. And here there are the pouches. These are the pouches of visceral peritoneum. And you see, these pouches are filled with the fat. So this fat filled pouches of basal peritoneum, they are known as omental appendices. And where these omental appendices are present, so they are present on the surface of teni coli. Okay, so omental appendices. So this is the 13th point and last point of this presentation lecture, and few figures I would like to show you. Electron micrograph of the mesenteric plexus. If you are interested, you can read what is mesenteric plexus. And this, the main thing, this is not much useful according to your syllabus, but this figure is important for you. Left hand side, what is this? Photograph of the large intestine, and you read the key. So HC, TC. Let's find out what is TC. So here you see 3 teni coli, TC. Okay, teni coli. Then OA. What is OA? So OA, omental appendices, OA. Then HC, Hostra coli, HC. So this is the important figure. Okay, this way. Then this figure, electron micrograph of dividing goblet cell. Just you go through this figure only for our information. So if you are interested, you can go, you can read this information. Okay, and this mucosa of the large intestine. Okay, so with this we have completed the discussion of histology of the large intestine. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation lecture, and at the same time I also hope that this presentation lecture will be helpful in your studies and in your exam preparation. My name is Manish Kosti sir. I am from Ahmedabad, India. Bye bye. Namaste.